The discovery. The signal came on a Tuesday. Dr. Sarah Chen was running her usual analysis of deep space radio transmissions when her algorithms detected something different. Not the typical background radiation or random noise from distant stars, but a pattern. A deliberate, mathematically precise sequence that couldn't be natural. "Director Hammond," she called, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "I think you need to see this." The pattern wasn't just a signal. It was a symphony of information, encoded in ways that suggested an intelligence far beyond anything humanity had encountered. But what made Sarah's hands tremble wasn't the complexity of the message. It was its origin. The signal was coming from what they had always thought was empty space, merely 50 light-years from Earth. Within hours, every major observatory on Earth redirected their instruments toward the source. What they found shattered humanity's understanding of their place in the cosmos. Hidden behind what appeared to be some form of spatial distortion was an entire civilization, or rather multiple civilizations, a vast network of worlds, stations, and ships, all connected by technology that defied human understanding. The United Earth Council convened an emergency session. For the first time in human history, representatives from every nation gathered not to debate their differences, but to face a truth that made those differences seem insignificant. Humanity was not alone, and they were far from the most advanced species in the galaxy. Director Hammond stood before the council, his weathered face illuminated by the holographic display of the signal source. "Ladies and gentlemen, what we've discovered isn't just evidence of alien life. It's evidence of a thriving galactic community that has been operating in our cosmic backyard, hidden behind technology we can barely comprehend." Sarah stepped forward, her presentation ready. The chamber fell silent as she displayed the first decoded portions of the signal. The message appears to be a standard greeting protocol, broadcast on repeat. We've managed to decode about 15% of it, but what we found is fascinating. It's not just one language. It's hundreds, maybe thousands, all layered together in a complex mathematical framework. The implications were staggering. Not only had humanity discovered alien life, but they had stumbled upon what appeared to be a vast, multi-species civilization. The question wasn't whether to respond, but how. Over the next 6 months, Earth underwent a transformation. The revelation of alien life had done what centuries of warfare and diplomacy couldn't. It united humanity under a common purpose. The Harmony Project was established, with Dr. Chen at its helm, dedicated to understanding and responding to the alien signal. Scientists and linguists worked around the clock, developing new algorithms to decode the complex message. Engineers and physicists studied the spatial distortion, trying to understand how an entire civilization could remain hidden for so long. Military strategists and diplomats prepared for every possible scenario of first contact. But it was Sarah who made the breakthrough that would change everything. Late one night, studying the signal for the 1000th time, she noticed something everyone else had missed. The mathematical framework wasn't just a method of communication. It was a key to understanding the fundamental nature of the technology that hid the alien civilization. The distortion field, she explained to the council, it's not just bending space. It's creating a pocket of altered reality, operating under slightly different physical laws. That's why we couldn't detect them before. We were literally looking at a different version of space. The revelation led to humanity's first major breakthrough in understanding alien technology. Within weeks, Earth's scientists had developed a prototype device that could detect and potentially interact with these altered space pockets. It wasn't much, but it was a start. 2 months later, humanity was ready to respond. The message they crafted was unique, not just a simple greeting, but a demonstration of human ingenuity. They encoded their response using the same mathematical framework as the alien signal, but with a twist that demonstrated their understanding of the technology behind it. The response was sent from the newly constructed Harmony Array, a massive installation of quantum transmitters built specifically for this purpose. As the signal left Earth, humanity held its breath. knowing that this moment would forever change their destiny. They didn't have to wait long for a response. 3 days later, the alien signal changed. The new message was shorter, more focused, and directed specifically at Earth. As Sarah and her team worked to decode it, they realized this wasn't just an acknowledgement. It was an invitation. The galactic community had noticed humanity's clever response, particularly their quick grasp of the mathematical principles behind their technology. They wanted to meet. As Earth prepared for its first official contact with alien civilization, Sarah couldn't help but feel a mix of pride and apprehension. Humanity had proven they could understand and adapt to concepts far beyond their current technology level. But understanding was one thing. Being ready to join a galactic community was another entirely. What no one realized yet was that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their ability to understand alien technology. It was their ability to think differently about it. While the galactic community had built their civilization on careful, methodical advancement, humans had evolved to thrive on adaptation and creative problem-solving. This fundamental difference would soon prove to be more significant than anyone could have imagined. The Embassy, the Harmony 1, emerged from its experimental quantum drive 3 light-years from the designated meeting point. It wasn't the largest ship humanity had ever built, but it was certainly the most advanced, incorporating everything they had learned from studying the alien signal. Ambassador Maria Santos stood on the bridge, watching as her crew made final preparations. They were an eclectic group: scientists, diplomats, soldiers, and specialists from every corner of Earth, chosen not just for their expertise, but for their ability to adapt to the unprecedented. "Final systems check complete," reported Commander Jackson, his dark eyes fixed on the holographic display. "The quantum signature matches the coordinates they provided. We're exactly where we need to be." Maria nodded, smoothing her formal attire. After months of preparation, humanity was about to meet its galactic neighbors. The weight of that responsibility pressed against her chest like a physical force. The alien vessel appeared without warning. One moment empty space, the next a massive structure that defied conventional geometry. It seemed to fold in on itself in ways that made human eyes water. Its surface a shifting kaleidoscope of colors that shouldn't exist. "By all that's holy," whispered Dr. Chen, who had insisted on being part of the mission. "Their mastery of spatial manipulation is beyond anything we theorized." A transmission came through, translated by the advanced algorithms they had developed. "Human vessel Harmony 1, you have arrived precisely as scheduled. This is unexpected but appreciated. Please prepare for dimensional alignment." Before anyone could respond, the space around them shifted. Reality seemed to blur, and when it stabilized, they found themselves in what appeared to be a vast docking bay, but one that operated under physics that made their scientists' heads spin. Their welcoming committee was equally mind-bending. Beings of all shapes and sizes filled the chamber, some humanoid, others completely alien. Some floated in containment fields, others moved on multiple limbs, and a few seemed to exist in more dimensions than humans could perceive. "Welcome," came a collective thought, translated by their systems. "We are the Galactic Concordat." What followed was the most important diplomatic meeting in human history. The Concordat, they learned, was an alliance of over 10,000 species, each having achieved what they called civilizational maturity, a state of technological and social development that qualified them for membership. But as the meetings progressed, something unexpected began to emerge. The aliens weren't just interested in evaluating humanity, they were fascinated by them. "Your species," observed the Arxian delegate, "a crystalline being that communicated through light patterns, achieves understanding in ways we find disturbing." "Disturbing?" Maria asked, maintaining her diplomatic composure. "You leap to conclusions without sufficient data. You make intuitive connections that defy logical progression. You imagine possibilities before establishing their theoretical foundation." The human delegation exchanged glances. What the Arxian was describing was basic human creativity and intuition. "Furthermore," contributed another delegate, a swarm mind of microscopic organisms. Your response to our signal demonstrated an alarming ability to repurpose advanced concepts for alternative applications. This is not the expected path of technological development. Dr. Chen stepped forward. Are you saying that because we understood your signal's mathematical framework and adapted it, we did something wrong? The chamber filled with a mixture of alien emotions, concern, fascination, and something that might have been fear. Not wrong, the Archean clarified. Impossible. Species at your development level should not be capable of such cognitive leaps. It suggests an inherent instability in your neural processes. That's when Maria understood. The Concordat had achieved their advancement through careful, methodical progress. Each step built logically on the last. The human tendency to jump ahead, to imagine and create without fully understanding, was completely foreign to them. This revelation was both promising and concerning. Humanity's greatest strength, their ability to think outside conventional boundaries, might also be their greatest obstacle to acceptance. The diplomatic sessions continued for weeks. The humans demonstrated their technology, their culture, their art. With each presentation, the alien delegates became more agitated. They create music without mathematical proof of its harmony, one delegate whispered. They develop technologies through trial and error rather than complete theoretical understanding, observed another. They adapt and modify existing systems without fully comprehending their original purpose, noted a third. But it was the quantum drive of the Harmony One that caused the greatest stir. The humans had developed it based on principles gleaned from the alien signal, but they had implemented it in ways the Concordat had never considered. You channeled quantum uncertainties through a probability matrix, the chief scientist of the Concordat asked, their multifaceted eyes blinking rapidly, without first resolving the paradoxes of observer effect. We found that the uncertainties actually improved efficiency if you didn't try to resolve them, Dr. Chen explained, by embracing the chaos rather than trying to control it. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of alien languages. The very concept seemed to disturb them at a fundamental level. As the first diplomatic mission drew to a close, the Concordat reached a decision. Humanity would not be granted full membership. They were deemed too unpredictable. However, they would be given observer status and limited access to Concordat technology and knowledge. What the Concordat didn't realize was that limited access was all humanity needed. Give humans a glimpse of possibility, and they would find ways to make it reality, often in ways their more advanced neighbors had never imagined. As the Harmony One prepared for its return journey, Maria and her team knew they had achieved something significant, even if it wasn't what they had originally hoped for. They had shown the galaxy that humanity was ready to join them among the stars. What no one suspected was that humanity's unique way of thinking would soon become the galaxy's greatest asset, and its only hope for survival against a threat that logical, methodical advancement had never prepared them for. The crisis. The attack came without warning. 3 months after humanity's first diplomatic mission, the quantum communications array on Europa picked up a distress signal from one of the newly established human colonies in the Ta City system. By the time the defense fleet arrived, they found only debris where a thriving settlement of 50,000 people had once stood. The destruction wasn't the most terrifying part. It was the way it had happened. The entire colony had been transformed at the quantum level, its very atomic structure twisted into impossible configurations that defied the laws of physics. Dr. Sarah Chen stared at the sensor readings in horror. This isn't random destruction. Whatever did this understood the fundamental forces of reality better than we do, better than even the Concordat does. The Galactic Concordat called an emergency session, and for the first time in their history, they invited a human representative to attend. Ambassador Santos found herself in a chamber filled with terrified alien delegates, all watching recordings of similar attacks across the galaxy. The entropy cascade explained the Archean Prime, its crystalline form dulled with fear. We thought they were merely theoretical, a mathematical impossibility that our ancestors used to frighten their young. But they're real, and they're awakening. The recording showed the same pattern. Advanced civilizations reduced to quantum chaos, their carefully ordered existence unraveled at the most fundamental level. The Concordat's mighty fleets, with all their advanced technology, were helpless against an enemy that could rewrite the laws of physics themselves. What exactly are we dealing with? Maria asked, her voice steady despite the growing dread in her chest. They are the ultimate expression of order, the swarm mind delegate explained. A species so ancient they transcended physical form, becoming one with the mathematical foundations of reality itself. They seek to impose absolute order on the universe, eliminating what they perceive as chaos, life itself. Commander Jackson, who had accompanied Maria, frowned. If they're beings of pure order, why does their attack look like chaos? The question caused a stir among the delegates. It is not chaos, the Archean Prime corrected. It is perfect order, so perfect that our limited consciousness perceives it as disorder. They are rewriting reality according to equations we cannot comprehend. That's when Dr. Chen, who had been quietly analyzing the attack data, spoke up. You're wrong. This isn't perfect order. It's deliberate disorder. They're not imposing new rules. They're systematically breaking existing ones, and they're doing it with absolute precision. The chamber erupted in confused discussion. The concept that a species of pure order would use disorder as a weapon seemed to break something in their methodical minds. But Sarah wasn't finished. Look at the pattern of the attacks. They're not random. They're targeting the most advanced, most ordered civilizations first. The ones with the most rigid, mathematically perfect societies. Maria's eyes widened as she understood. Because those civilizations are the least equipped to handle chaos. They've built their entire existence on predictable, understandable patterns. Precisely, Sarah nodded. And what species in this galaxy is best equipped to handle chaos, to thrive in unpredictability? The alien delegates turned to stare at the humans, their various sensory organs registering something new. Hope. Humanity's greatest weakness in the eyes of the Concordat, their chaotic, unpredictable nature, might be their greatest strength against this threat. While the highly ordered societies of the Concordat were paralyzed by the entropy cascades attacks, humans were already adapting, already thinking of ways to fight back. We need to move quickly, Maria addressed the chamber. The entropy cascade thinks in perfect patterns, expects perfect responses. We need to be irregular, unpredictable. We need to fight chaos with chaos. Impossible, the Archean Prime declared. Our civilizations are built on order, on predictability. We cannot simply abandon our nature. Then don't, Commander Jackson suggested. Let us be your chaos. Give us access to your technology, your resources, and let us do what humans do best. Improvise. The debate raged for hours. The Concordat species struggled with the concept of deliberately introducing chaos into their ordered universe. But as reports of more attacks flooded in, they realized they had no choice. In a historic decision, the Galactic Concordat granted humanity full access to their technological database and resources. But more importantly, they did something unprecedented. They gave humans authority to coordinate the galaxy's defense against the entropy cascade. As the human delegation returned to Earth to begin preparations, Maria turned to Sarah. Do you really think we can fight beings that exist as living mathematics? Sarah smiled. Mathematics isn't just about order. It's about possibilities. And nobody imagines possibilities quite like humans do. What followed would become known throughout the galaxy as the Symphony of Chaos, humanity's greatest testament to their unique place in the cosmos. But first, they had to teach a galaxy of ordered species how to embrace a little disorder. The war against the entropy cascade was about to begin, and its first battle would be fought not with weapons, but with ideas. Ideas that only the chaotic, creative human mind could conceive. The symphony. Let's make some noise, Dr. Sarah Chen announced to the assembled team of human scientists and alien experts. The quantum laboratory aboard the newly commissioned Earth ship Pandora hummed with energy as she brought up the holographic display. What the aliens saw made their various sensory organs flutter in disbelief. The humans had taken the Concordat's most advanced technology and started playing with it. Not refining it, not perfecting it, but deliberately introducing variations and imperfections. "You can't fight perfect order with perfect order," Sarah explained. "The entropy cascade expects that. They predict patterns, so we'll give them anti-patterns. We're going to create quantum jazz." The concept was quintessentially human. Instead of trying to match the entropy cascade's mathematical precision, they would introduce controlled chaos into the quantum field itself. The Pandora wasn't just a ship, it was humanity's first quantum orchestra. Commander Jackson, now captain of the Pandora, watched as his crew implemented Sarah's theories. They weren't just scientists anymore. They were artists, composing with probability waves and quantum uncertainties. Each crew member added their own unique touch to the symphony of chaos they were creating. "It's like playing jazz," Sarah explained to the bewildered alien observers. "You know the basic rules, but then you improvise, create something new in the moment. The entropy cascade can predict perfect patterns, but they can't predict what hasn't been invented yet." The first test came sooner than expected. A distress call reached them from the Arxian colony in the Vega sector. The entropy cascade had begun their attack, their perfect mathematical patterns already unraveling the quantum structure of the colony's protective shields. "Take us in," Jackson ordered. "Time to see if our quantum jazz works." The Pandora dropped out of quantum space directly into the battle. The scene before them was terrifying. Reality itself seemed to be unraveling as the entropy cascade's influence spread across the colony. But this time, humanity was ready. "Begin the symphony," Sarah commanded. The ship's quantum generators spun up, but not in the precise, controlled way the Concordat had designed them. Instead, they pulsed with irregular rhythms, each generator slightly out of sync with the others. The result was a cascade of quantum fluctuations that spread out from the ship like ripples in a pond. At first, nothing seemed to happen. The entropy cascade's attack continued, its perfect patterns of destruction marching forward with mathematical precision. But then something changed. "Look at the quantum field readings," Sarah pointed to the display. Where the cascade's patterns met their chaotic quantum jazz, they began to stumble. Like a perfect mathematical equation confronted with an imaginary number, their order couldn't process the deliberate disorder humanity had introduced. "Push harder," Jackson ordered. "Everyone, improvise." The human crew, trained in Sarah's unconventional quantum mechanics, began to vary their outputs. Each operator introduced their own unique variations, their own musical interpretations of quantum physics. The result was something the universe had never seen before, a deliberate symphony of controlled chaos. The effect was immediate and stunning. The entropy cascade's attack faltered, their perfect patterns disrupted by variations they couldn't predict or counter. For the first time in their ancient existence, they encountered something their mathematical consciousness couldn't process: human creativity. "It's working," Sarah exclaimed. "Their patterns are breaking down. They can't maintain their attack while trying to process our quantum variations." The alien observers watched in amazement as the humans effectively fought back against a force that had terrified the galaxy's most advanced civilizations. But what happened next surprised even the humans. The entropy cascade, instead of retreating, attempted to adapt. Their patterns began to shift, trying to incorporate the chaos into their calculations. But this only made them more vulnerable. "They're trying to understand our chaos," Sarah realized. "But you can't quantify creativity. Every time they think they've figured out our pattern, we change it." For hours, the battle raged. The Pandora's crew continued their quantum jazz, each variation forcing the entropy cascade to recalculate, each creative burst disrupting their perfect mathematical existence. It was exhausting, demanding work, not just technically, but creatively. Finally, the attack broke. The entropy cascade retreated, leaving behind a partially damaged but largely intact colony. For the first time in history, they had been forced to abandon their target. As the crew celebrated, Sarah noticed something interesting in the quantum readings. They didn't just retreat, she said, studying the data. They were confused. We introduced something into their perfect mathematical universe that they can't process. Uncertainty. The implications were enormous. Humanity hadn't just found a way to fight back. They had discovered the entropy cascade's fundamental weakness. Their perfect order was their perfect vulnerability. News of the victory spread quickly through the Concordat. Species that had lived in terror of the cascade now looked to humanity with new eyes. The chaotic, unpredictable humans had done what all their advanced technology and perfect order could not. But Sarah and her team knew this was just the beginning. The entropy cascade would return, and next time they would be prepared for simple chaos. Humanity would need to be even more creative, even more unpredictable. "We need to teach the galaxy to jazz," she announced to her team. "Every species, every civilization needs to learn how to improvise, how to create their own quantum music." It was an ambitious plan, teaching rigidly ordered species to embrace chaos. But if anyone could do it, it was humanity. After all, they had spent their entire existence learning to thrive in uncertainty. The symphony was about to become a galaxy-wide concert, and humanity would be its conductor. The new dawn, the great hall of the Galactic Concordat had changed. Where once perfect geometric patterns had dominated the architecture, now graceful asymmetrical designs flowed through the space. Order and chaos, intertwined in a dance that would have been unthinkable just a year ago. Ambassador Maria Santos stood before the assembled representatives of 10,000 worlds, her heart full of pride at how far they'd all come. The massive quantum display behind her showed the latest statistics. 6 months since the last entropy cascade attack, and 3 months since their last detected presence anywhere in known space. "The universe is not a problem to be solved," she began, "but a reality to be experienced. This is what humanity has taught us, and what the entropy cascade could never understand." The assembled delegates murmured in agreement. Many of them had undergone profound changes since humanity introduced their quantum jazz theory. Species that had once relied purely on logic and order now explored the creative possibilities that chaos offered. Dr. Sarah Chen, now director of the Galactic Institute of Quantum Arts, stepped forward. The device she wore, a quantum harmonizer of her own design, hummed softly, its irregular patterns a constant reminder of how far their understanding had come. "We didn't just drive the entropy cascade away," she explained, bringing up a complex quantum visualization. "We showed them something they had never encountered in their eons of existence, the beauty of imperfection." The display showed the final confrontation, not a battle, but a symphony. Thousands of ships from hundreds of species, each adding their own unique variations to a galaxy-wide quantum jazz performance. The entropy cascade had faced not order, not pure chaos, but something entirely new, orchestrated unpredictability. "They couldn't destroy what they couldn't comprehend," Sarah continued. "And what they couldn't comprehend was that the universe isn't meant to be perfect. Life itself exists in the balance between order and chaos." Commander Jackson, now Admiral of the Combined Fleet, added his perspective. "Our greatest victory wasn't in the technology we developed or the tactics we employed. It was in teaching the galaxy to embrace its own creativity." The changes were evident everywhere. The once rigid Arctians had learned to incorporate random crystalline formations into their structures, creating beauty through imperfection. The swarm minds had discovered that allowing individual units to act unpredictably led to more robust problem-solving. Even the most ordered species had found strength in flexibility. "But our work is not finished," Maria announced. "The entropy cascade taught us a valuable lesson about the dangers of extreme order. Yet we must be equally cautious about falling into extreme chaos." She gestured to the new Concordat chamber around them. "Look at what we've built together." Not a rejection of order, but a harmony between structure and creativity. Not a perfect pattern, but a living, breathing balance. The quantum displays showed scenes from across the galaxy, newly established schools where species learned to improvise and create, research centers where ordered minds worked alongside chaotic thinkers, and art installations that merged mathematical precision with creative expression. Humanity's gift to the galaxy wasn't chaos, Sarah explained. It was the understanding that true advancement comes from the dialogue between order and uncertainty. The entropy cascade sought to impose a single truth on reality. We showed that reality is rich enough to encompass many truths. As if to demonstrate this principle, the quantum harmonizers throughout the chamber began to pulse, each adding its own unique signature to a growing symphony. It wasn't the structured harmonies of the old Concordat, nor was it pure chaos. It was something new, a conversation between different ways of seeing and experiencing the universe. "We call this the new symphony," Maria said, her voice carrying over the quantum harmonies. Not a single melody imposed from above, but countless voices finding harmony in their differences. The Archean Prime, its crystalline form now beautifully irregular, raised what passed for its voice. We feared humanity's chaos would destroy us. Instead, it has shown us how to truly live. The Swarm Mind Delegate, its components moving in patterns that were both ordered and random, added, "We have learned that strength lies not in perfect uniformity, but in the ability to adapt and create." As the ceremony concluded, Maria, Sarah, and Jackson stood together, watching the intermingling of species that had once been rigidly separated by their adherence to order. "Did you ever think," Jackson asked, "when you first detected that signal, that it would lead to all this?" Sarah smiled, adjusting her quantum harmonizer. "Honestly, no. But that's the beauty of being human. We never know where our next step will lead us. We just know we'll figure it out when we get there." Maria looked out at the gathered representatives of a transformed galaxy. The entropy cascade sought to eliminate chaos from the universe. Instead, they taught us all how to dance. As the quantum symphony played on, humans and aliens alike moved through the chamber, each adding their own unique note to the ongoing song of existence. The galaxy had changed, and while perfect order might have been lost, something far more valuable had been gained: the ability to create, to adapt, and to grow. The dawn of this new era brought with it not certainty, but possibility. And in the end, that was humanity's greatest gift to the cosmos: the understanding that the future belongs not to those who seek to control it, but to those who dare to imagine it. In the depths of space, the quantum jazz played on, a testament to the power of human creativity, and a reminder that in the vast symphony of existence, every voice adds its own essential note to the cosmic song.